Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm Queen Bean Tarot, and today I am doing a pick a card for what action to take. So I'm doing the subconscious and the conscious, what you're unaware of and what you're aware of moving forward, and I'm going to get a crow's insight for what this might be about in general. So we have three choices here. So we got the Two of Wands. We have, for pole number 2, we got the Chariot. And for the third pole, we got the Knight of Swords. This is pretty much what allowed me to know that this is the topic. All of these cards are about taking action, about next steps and goal setting and moving forward. So I am using the ephemera for our what we're aware of, our consciousness, and I am using the Black Tarot for our subconscious, the unseen, and our Crow Insight Oracle card. I will leave you to your choice, and I'll see you in your pile. Hello, pile number 1. If you chose the Two of Wands card, then this is your pile. So the Two of Wands is about making a choice. It's about setting goals and looking into the future and then taking action towards those. So pretty much it's when you're like, oh, what do I want to be? I want to be this. Okay, how do I get there? And then you look up like what job you need, how to change your resume, or I want to be a mum. Okay, so what healthcare do I need to do? So you've got the Crow's Insight card of Strength. Discover inner strength through perseverance and resilience. It builds confidence and character. For what you have, decided to do for your future, what path you want to take, you might need some extra courage and some extra confidence. But let's see what you're not aware of and what you are aware of. So this is sort of like your subconscious. Things that we're not aware of tends to show through dreams. It's just something that is always like behind the curtains of a theater. So you have the the stage with the curtains open that everyone sees, but behind the stage, working off the sides, is the people who do the lighting, do the background. It's extremely important, but it goes unseen and unnoticed. So we're gonna see what it is that you do not see. This could be something that you never thought of, but you'll is a big part of your future goals and the actions you need to take. And it might seem like smaller things, like you might say, oh, I want to go and travel. Well, there's going to be smaller things that you need to do, hence like making sure you've got a passport, that it's valid for how long you need it to be. You need to look up where you're traveling to, learn about those laws, get insurance when you travel. There's a lot of stuff that will be needed just for per scenario, and let's just get what is going to come through. You're going to just put it to your scenario and to your life. Typically when something comes out, the first thought you get, that is generally what it's about. It's instantly perceived to be going with that. That's your subconscious and your intuition letting you know that this is what the topic is about. For everyone, they would perceive it differently, but that's just the way it is. I can't be very pinpoint because these are general. If this was a one-to-one, this would be much easier. So I am going to get 3 of each deck. So this is what your subconscious and what's unseen. Now this deck, I've had this for ages. I really love this deck, but pre-warning, it can be a little bit there's some nudity sometimes in it, so I will cover them with little crystals if needed. But also these have some unique cards in this deck where I will have to probably read from the book for them, just depending on what comes out for you guys. I can see that one straight up. Okay, get ready with some crystals. I have this. So let's put a lapis lazuli there, shall we? It is a card of wisdom. I don't know what's going to be damned and what's not going to be damned, so adventuring. Okay. And I'm pretty sure this one doesn't have any. I might speak too soon. No. Okay. So, beautiful pole number ones. So what is unseen is we have a Ten of Cups. So the Ten of Cups is actually like harmony, love, fulfillment. You might have much more support than you're aware of. As you can see here, a lot of love, caring, support. The Queen of Pentacles. Now this is someone who's a homebody, someone who's financially stable, reliable, caring. So this could be like a parent, a grandparent, someone who you would turn to or go to for financial advice, or even like, you know, if you're like, I'm in a pickle, they would like give you money or they'll take care of it. And then you also have the Three of Swords. This is actually a card about heartbreak. It's a card about, well, one, loss, but also separation. If you guys have lost a parent, a grandparent, a mother figure, someone who always took care of you, took care of the house, I'm letting you know that this person is here with you, giving you support and loving, like, still, you know, they're enjoying watching you make decisions and move forward in your life. This, which is very interesting. You might also, because this is subconscious, you might also be living your life in a way where you're like, what would such and such do in this circumstance? Like, you ask yourself that, like, what would they do if they were here, or what, you know, advice would they give me, or what, you know, what would they do? And I think you model yourself and you think of your choices and your actions. Now, for, you know, this makes sense why you have this in your subconscious, or that there is some baggage that might be holding you back of moving forward because of the loss of this person. So maybe you need to get you know, see a therapist about it, or get some closure. Maybe you didn't get proper closure, which is a little bit upsetting, and it's something that could be holding you back. Maybe this has like put you, when we're upset and sad or mad, it puts us in a lower vibration. And so trying to get excited and to do things and think of things, like, you can think of things rationally, but getting excited and getting passionate and doing stuff, like especially moving forward, if some, like a passing of someone, and I really feel like this is the loss of a person. This could be for some people a loss of a job, because a Queen of Pentacles could be someone who pays you or takes care of your pay, like, you know, financially. And the Ten of Cups could be that you had felt emotionally fulfilled with that role, and now you're sort of like, you know, as you can see with this image split down the middle, you feel really gutted with whatever it is that you have lost. So this could be a person, support system, this could be a job. Typically that's what these three would be pertaining to once you put it all together. If you know, if you have indeed lost someone in your life, my heart goes out to you. I feel it's very difficult to deal with that, but do know they are still watching you from the other side. They're supportive, and if either they are telling you to move forward and move on, or you are unfortunately needing to go through some grief counseling. A lot of people think, oh, just because you lose a parent doesn't mean you need grief counseling. Everyone needs grief counseling at one stage or another to help them understand what they're feeling and what they're going through. So when it comes to what you're aware of, what you can see, what you're moving through, let's pull this down. You have the counterpoint. Now, the counterpoint is pretty much meant to be like the Lovers. They actually have 3 counterpoints in this deck, and there's like a man and a woman, 2 men, and then 2 women. I think it's just based on, you know, the sexes and whatnot. But pretty much this is the Lovers. So this represents obviously a harmony, a choice as well, because if it represents the Lovers is primarily a card about choice, but it's also about unity and trust and shared goals. So if this is indeed something where you are trying to make a choice, you might be considering making a decision and a choice moving forward with someone else in mind. So that would be like if you have a you know, a wife or a husband, and you need to make a decision on moving forward, or like going somewhere or doing something that would require everyone to, you know, change up their life. So if you're like thinking of taking a job overseas, well, you sort of need your partner's, you know, input and to agree and to see if this was the actual choice that you both had agreed upon with this union in the beginning. Like if they don't want to move overseas, then obviously that's not the same path that you are both imagining for your future. So it's like you need to consider this person, you know, when it comes to making that decision. It could also be that this person who has passed on is typically the person you would communicate with about this, and you're feeling a little lost, so you're trying to think what would they do. So you're maybe focusing a lot on that, like consciously you're like, what would they do? That's where we're getting the unconscious and the conscious coming together, which makes a lot of sense for quite a few of you. The Fighter, which is this one, I love these cards. They're so beautiful. It's just a shame that they show a lot of the human physique, because with YouTube they do like to, you know, sensitize stuff. But this is about strength, health, physicality, and force. So it is pretty much, it symbolizes strength. It is about the might of the human form. So like the strength our bodies can like withhold. Like our bodies are very unique and very strong and very capable. It's about the potential that we have to create. And yeah, apparently with this one, because I do have a book here, this one is explaining that what her weapon is in this signifies balance between creation and aggression, and emphasizing the dual callings of our physicality. So, which is very interesting. It's like a blend of defense and artistry. So this is really giving me the strength card, like, you know, having the strength to go through something. You might be considering steps if you do have something that is like a health issue, because we do also have a Queen here. It might be the Queen of Cups, if I'm correct. When it comes to these designs, they don't really show the normal, like, you know, pentacles or whatnot, and they don't actually have it on there. So yeah, it is the Queen of Cups. I was correct because of the whales. The whales is what gave it away for me, guys. But yeah, she obviously embodies emotional intelligence, your intuition and compassion. She's really amazing caretaker. I've always said she reminds me of, like, you know, if your mum was a nurse or a doctor, like that's the kind of care and empathy that the Queen of Cups holds. But she's extremely mature. She's as if like she does truly you know, hold the, like, she embodies the compassion and empathy and understanding that a queen in real life would need, with taking care of many masses of people under her jurisdiction. The love and the care that is needed, like the understanding. So when someone explains a circumstance, you can be like empathetic, but also knowing what the correct course would be to move forward in their circumstance, like, you know, like a judge and a juror. So it's very interesting that these are what you've got. Perhaps this would be about having, again, you need strength and confidence. This fighter is about strength, it's about the confidence, it's about moving forward but with a balance. You really need balance moving forward, and you have a counterpoint, which is, you know, choices but making a balanced decision. I feel like a Queen of Cups is definitely going to help you, which is ironic because you have the Queen of Pentacles here, which is spheres. So I definitely say moving forward, you're going to be relying on someone to give you some insight. You're definitely going to have to say a yes or no. This is a yes or no sort of situation because you do have a choice here. Be careful that it's something where you're not like making a decision with too much emotion. If you have gone through a loss of something, you could be extremely emotional, and that could be what's making you make a choice moving forward where it's not essentially balanced. So you might need to consider, you know, reining in all the emotions, and this person who is very empathetic and caring might be able to help you look like, you know, deal with that, especially if this is a therapist. This would make me feel like someone who might be a therapist who can help you understand and see things from a different perspective, like how to, you know, consider things from not an emotional perspective, because it feels like what you're going through is extremely distressing and emotionally charged. So whether that's a loss of a job or whatnot, you could also be relying on a partner to try and help, and it might even feel, because this is meant to be the lovers, but with all the, like, you know, the swords in the background and her like with an arrow, it might feel like yous are clashing, like yous aren't agreeing, and you might actually need to get some professional help with that because you're trying to find a balanced agreement. But this is actually what might be driving you subconsciously or affecting you subconsciously, and you're not actually really aware of it. But yes, you got a really difficult choice ahead of you. I hope it's not a choice where it's like, if you choose what you want, like what you're emotionally attuning to right now, that it will end a relationship. I'm hoping it's not something like that, like, you know, especially a partnership, one that you have committed to. Plans do change, however, we are metamorphic beings and we change throughout our life. But yes, this is the reading I have for you. This is going to be different for each person. Let me know if it resonates. Like, share, comment as always. I love yous all, appreciate yous all, and I will see yous all in the next one. Bye. Hello, all my beautiful pole number 2s. If you chose the Chariot card, then this is your reading. So the Chariot is a major arcana card. It has a lot to do with taking control and action. It is about travel, willpower, and determination, of course. So having some passion to go do something, typically to travel. You might need to travel to get some studies in. You might just be wanting to travel the world. You might actually, you know, want to, you know, create an itinerary list and take control of where you're traveling, especially if you're part of a giant group. You might be the one in charge of like booking hotels and flights and making sure everyone's got everything, and like making an itinerary list, but also making a list where it's like, this is what we're going to be doing while we're on holidays. I'm hearing Japan for some weird reason. That one. Stress. So this is the crow's insight. Yeah, so this is just, crows can fly between worlds. They're meant to be messengers. That's why Odin had 2 of them. Now, manage stress with self-care and mindfulness. Prioritize balance and well-being in daily life. Yeah, don't overstress yourself, darling. I'm wondering if, so with the Chariot, I did hear Japan, You might travel with a group. You might also be planning, like right now, you might be saving up a lot because you want to travel a lot more. This could also be something else, like maybe you're going to be traveling just to see like a doctor, or your job is going to be be in travel. Like you will literally work for a company that books traveling for other people, and part of it could be that you need to travel so you can know these destinations and places and help many other people. Okay, so now with these, I'm going to try and get 3 of each. So this is meant to be the subconscious, like the like your shadow stuff, like the things that you're not aware of consciously. And then this is what's in the light, what you are aware of consciously, so that we can try and get as much for you guys as possible. Now with the ephemera, there sometimes is some nudity, so I have my crystals here ready to pull out different sizes and shapes so I can cover if need be. This is the Black Tarot. It's really good as a shadow deck as well, I personally find. It's by Victoria Eva, either way. But yes, it is a very unique deck. I really love it. It's got a good weight to it. So that's why for things unseen, it's very useful. But yes, you most definitely might be someone who you could be in charge of like a business or a company, and you need to travel. There could be something that you're planning, an advancement. There has been a lot of chariot energy this year, because we are in the fire horse year for the Chinese, obviously the Chinese zodiac. So a lot of people are moving, traveling, changing jobs, putting their health first, putting their family first. You might travel to visit family. You also someone might be doing a marathon, like you might be prepping for a marathon, or a triathlon, something like that. I'm hearing. So that's our 3. Let's see. Now with this deck, there is a lot of, oh gosh, no, that definitely was not. With this deck, there is a lot of special made cards for it, which isn't typical for a tarot deck. And it's because there's so many cards in it, I thought it would be really good to bring light, like what you are dealing with in everyday life, what you have a focus on, what you are aware of. But for a lot of those cards, I don't know them. So I've got obviously the book here. So if there's a card, one of those cards pop up that I am not aware of, I'll read from that. And that one, I can feel that. Sometimes some of these cards, they will either glow or they heat up in your hands. Not this deck, I mean in general, when you do a reading. And that's how you can tell if it's needed. And that just means that someone at one point is going to click on this and they need to hear that. That's how that sort of works. That's how channeling certain energies works for me. I'm kind of curious, does everyone else heat up when they channel readings like this? Because my body heats up astronomically while I'm doing this. So what you're not aware of, you have a Judgment card, an Emperor, and the 8 of Cups. Very interesting. You got 2 major arcana. So there is a lot subconsciously you're not aware of, or you're not listening to, or you're not dealing with, or it's just that it's your creative side. So I don't like when they do this all the time to me. Yoink. Let's get some shape. I know you can't really see it, but I'm not gonna trust YouTube to not demonetize me. Alright guys, so the Judgment is number 20 and the Emperor is number 4. So when we come to subconscious, you might very well be having too many choices and your mind is thinking over everything. It doesn't just mean choices in one area of your life. So you might be thinking, oh, I've got choices for locations, or like I want to see, let's say for example, if this is indeed traveling the world, there is like 5 major countries you want to travel to, and in each of those countries there's so much area you want to see and so many locations in that country you want to see. And then you're trying to, like, because you've got so many choices and you're looking at, you know, the prices of them, and you're looking at where's easiest to like visit, you know, where's more affordable, or where is it safer, like different things like that. And there's so many choices, and you've probably changed a few times for which one you're actually gonna go and visit first. There's also, you've got the 8 of Cups. Your 8 of Cups is about like letting go. Maybe you need to let go of some of the control that you have, maybe because you should really focus on reducing your stress. So like I mentioned, the crows can move between worlds, and they're really good messengers. And if you didn't know, if you split a crow's tongue, they can speak. They're incredibly intelligent. So if a crow is telling you your stress needs to be managed better, that's probably why this 8 of Cups is showing up subconsciously. Like, you know, subconsciously you have too much on your plate, you have too much work. I was gonna say the 20, interesting. The Judgment card is about choices, but it's also about like awakening, like an awareness and self-realization. Maybe you're beginning to, like, because this is unseen, maybe you subconsciously are very aware of how controlling that you are, because you do have the Emperor here, and the Emperor is about authority and structure and leadership. So maybe this is why you take control of everything, and you've got too much stresses in your life. Your job might be too stressful. You're realizing there has to be a change, and if you are not aware that, like, you know, in the light now, if you're not aware of that yet, your body's gonna make you aware of it, because people forget that stress can actually affect our bodies horribly. They can cause hernias, they can cause weight gain, they can cause your insulin to not work, your thyroid to not work. Major organs take on that stress in our bodies. You can have hair loss, you can have you know, your ingestion of food changes, everything changes, your sleep patterns change, you can get insomnia, you can have anxiety, depression, paranoia. Lots of things can happen because of too much stress. So you subconsciously are aware you have way too much stress on your person. The thing is, when it comes to the 8 of Cups, even though this is telling you you need to let go, you need to cut your losses, you know, you need to, you know, you need to abandon it, you need to walk away. The problem is, I feel like you've got that, what's that, sunk cost? Like, you've probably put so much effort into this, whatever this is. If you've put in so much finance and energy into maybe booking a travel, or this job, or this business, or this company, whatever it is, you've probably looked at the sunk cost and say, I can't give up now, keep going. Whereas your subconsciousness is saying, no, you are not worth this stress. Like, this stress is not going to end well for you. This could also be like, for example, let's say you get with a group of people and you're the one in charge of, you know, when you travel everywhere, and you've set everything up, and then the group has said, oh no, we don't want you in it anymore, you know, there's this, you know, XYZ, blah 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 blah, and they kick you out, and you're the one who sorted everything out, and now you're having to, like, sort of be like, well, I did all this stress, like, do I just keep on doing that? Like, do I just, you know, have to do the whole lot, but now for myself, like a single hotel room and my single insurance? Like, you know, you're not doing it for everyone else, but you wonder, do you just keep on going and you go, but you solo it, but along with them? I'm getting that for someone, which is weird, because that's typically not how I'd read those together. But yeah, that's what I'm getting. We have the King, I believe that's the King of Pentacles. They don't really tell you, they just say King, and I'm going based off of these spheres. Could be Pentacles, he could be a Wand, oh, no, I'll check that. You have the 3 of Cups, and you have the Seeker, which is reminding me of the Fool, but also the Hermit. So let's have a look at these. It's the joys of having unique decks. You spend more time checking up. There we go, Seeker. So, okay, so the Seeker speaks to the imperative of introspection and personal enlightenment. She presents a time to retreat and disconnect from external clamor. Her hood symbolizes a focus on the internal self, while the lantern's soft glow gives the ability to light our way and seek truth, even in moments of self-doubt or uncertainty. Her mirror reinforces the value of self-awareness and understanding our true motivations. The Seeker guides us to a richer understanding of ourselves, encouraging us to slow down, reflect, and gain wisdom from our past experiences, both positive and negative. This is beautiful because this card is saying you're burning out, you've got too much stress, you need to slow down. So you are beginning to catch on, like you're aware, yeah, I've got too much stress and something needs to change. You're looking at it, you're beginning to look at it, whether it's something that's came up that's put extra stress on you, and you're trying to problem solve it, or if it is something where you are doing a job that's too stressful and you're looking at moving to a different department or a different position. We do have, let me see, which king is this one? It's not the King of Wands, so it's probably our King of Pentacles. He's not the King of Cups. Yeah, he's the King of Pentacles. Okay, so our King of Pentacles, he is a very reliable, prosperous, very good leadership, and he's very determined. I'm wondering if you're thinking of changing leadership, because the Emperor is meant to be a leader as well, with really good structure and authority. The only thing is, with the Emperor, I always feel like it's a bit too controlling, whereas the King of Pentacles has a very stable, grounded approach as a leader. They're very, what's the word, patient, and they're very calm. Like, they listen, they hear everything out, and then they consider every point of view. Then they're much more grounded, very more fair, it comes off as. But we also have the Three of Cups, so working, you could also be celebrating something. It is community and connection, friendships. You might find someone who helps you deal with an issue, or how you mention the problem, and then your friends or people who are there, who are your support group, tell you, oh, this is a good idea, or oh, what about this? You start brainstorming. I'm also wondering, for some of you, if you're thinking about, this is for maybe someone who has a company or a business, you might be considering structural change to better lessen the stress, not just for you, but maybe there's other people in your life who has stress, and you're sort of the leader. So the Chariot, if you remember the original design, there is someone in a chariot and they're coming towards the card, and they have the two, I don't think they're horses, they're sphinxes that are pulling the chariot, but they're at the front. If you remember in all old armies, the chariot's always at the front with the leader. The leader's meant to be at the front, and you see this chariot, they're going away, they're riding away. So it feels like maybe you're getting to the point you're ready to walk away from something because the stress is too much, and you're looking at restructuring, where it's going to be you have a lot more, not just prosperity, but I'm hearing you hold a lot more of the authority, but it's you hold a lot more of the material wealth. You give that fairly as well, for some of you. I'm hearing that. And you're doing this because you're noticing some issues here. Your consciousness is starting to actually realize what your subconsciousness has been telling you for a very long time. So this is definitely to deal with any stressor, whether that is booking hotels, maybe travel itself. This could be a business. You might have been wanting to expand overseas and it was too much, so you could also hire another company to set up overseas, or you could even sell. You might even consider selling out. For some of you might be thinking, like, what if I sell out, get all this income, like, you'll be rich after selling out, and you're looking at retiring. For some of you, that's definitely going to be it, and focusing on your inner health and your mentality and dealing with that built up stress you've had your whole life. So for some of you, this is definitely it. You're looking at walking away, maybe going into retirement. For others of you, you're having to try and deal with controlling and booking and doing the itinerary. There might be a lot of like wrenches thrown in the plan, or whatever, like that saying. What's that saying? If you know, comment. But yeah, no, it might be a lot of hiccups, a lot of speed bumps, and you're starting to, like, it's causing you extra stress, and you might just need to put it down and step away for quite a little, like, to deal with it. But that's what I'm getting for you guys. Pole number 2, you need to focus on what's causing you stresses and how to manage, deal with it, or remove it entirely, just depending on how bad that is. Because your health and you are number one. Nothing and no one is worth you suffering. Maybe you needed to just hear that from this, but that is what I have for you. And I'm wishing you all the best, lots of love, light, and positive vibes. And I'm going to see you all in the next one. Bye. Hello, welcome all my beautiful pole number 3s. If you chose the Knight of Swords, this is your reading. So I'm going to get a crow's insight to see what you might need to focus on. I'm also going to get your subconscious and your conscious, what you are unaware of and what you are aware of for whatever scenario this is. So this is like what action you need to take. So 3 action cards came out, and that's what pretty much, made this the topic. So with the Knight of Swords, there is a lot of ambition. There is a lot of, I had a mind break, like a single-mindedness. So like, being very spontaneous, that's the word I was thinking of, but also very daring. So there's something that has maybe caught your attention, and once something's caught your attention, that's the only thing that you really focus on. You might be a very single-minded person. Sort of like, what they say with horses, like you can tell where they're looking based on where their ears turn. So you watch their ears, and their ears turn where they're looking, because they you also listen in. But like, that's, maybe you're just focusing on one thing at the moment, and that's pretty much what you're putting all of your eggs into one basket. It's to the point you might really take a leap of faith or jump in head first and not consider consequences. That's the thing with the Knight of Swords. It's a lot of fast action without much foresight, but it's not like negative in any way. It just means that you're really passionate and you're driving forward quickly. It could be that your mental capacity, like how you might be a very fast thinker, and to keep up with your mind might be actually difficult. I know quite a few people like that, where their brains just go like 100 miles per hour. Like it just moves really quickly. So, you're starting to, like, maybe you're, trying to put action to your thoughts instead of overthinking all the time. I've got a feeling you might be an overthinker, and this is like you're now taking action. But your crow's insight is magic. Believe in the magic of possibilities and unexpected joys. It adds wonder and excitement to life. So maybe you're just gonna be trusting this ambition and just going full pelt this is a very interesting reading, guys. Nothing like the last two. It's what I love about doing this, is that everything is unique, different. There's always something, like, this is general, but like however you perceive it, that is how, you know, that's the best way of how you would read. I don't like to read in reverse, but it did obviously come out in reverse, so we're gonna take it. So one more card. I want to get 3 for each. So this is your subconscious, what you're not aware of. So yeah, you're definitely going forward. There's something that's, I've got a feeling, that's given you a lot of hope about this choice, about this decision, about moving forward with these guys. Like, there was something that's given you a lot of hope, or has like, you know, cracked open this idea in your brain. I'm wondering if it's just something you found out you're really good at, or you have been wanting to do this and you finally like have like the resources, or like it could be a job. You know how, like, if there's a job you've always wanted, like, you know, like, let's say for example, you've always wanted to be an air hostess and you've been doing everything to get in, and you know, year after year after year after year after year, you just keep getting told no, 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 and finally your relentlessness has paid off, and now they're, okay, come in for an interview, and you're like, let's go. You know, it's making me think of that. But what are you aware of? Now, these are sometimes some of them might have some nudity. Your 3 does not, which is awesome, because the other ones I had to use like crystals to cover them. Okay. And also, these have many unique cards in it, so I'm sort of happy you've got normal cards, because I know what these all are. But yes, let's see for you guys. So there is something that is, when it comes to the 10 of Swords, so it's actually typically a negative card, but it's like a card where it means like the very end, like it's as low as you can go, like you can't go any lower, so there's only up from there on. However, once it's in reversed, it's actually about, like, you might be wallowing or sitting in that rock bottom feeling where you're stalling or making excuses. You might have always stalled or make excuses due to fear of leaping forward, going forward, doing something. This might be really out of your comfort zone. The Star is a major arcana, as is the Empress, which is 2 beautiful major arcanas you've got. So your intuition is definitely here helping you. You are ready and you are capable. So this is actually something that's going to bring you a lot of happiness. Whatever it is that you want to move forward with, it could have to do with something in a religious space, like, because this is about hope and faith, but it's also about your spirituality and good fortune. So this might be something that you have a lot of love for, a lot of faith in, and it's something where it like rejuvenates you. Like, you are really, what this is something you really love, or you think you really, really love it and you really want to go forward with it, but there is something that's stalling you. Subconsciously, you're stalling yourself. You might not even be aware that you are making excuses. And the Empress, number 3, so she's actually creativity, expression, and pleasure. This might be a creative endeavor you've always wanted to do, and you're really nervous about it. Like, you're actually very, very scared to do it, even though it's something that you really, really love. It's sort of I'm sort of feeling like, I'm gonna go into personal story here. I was so worried to start doing tarot general readings on YouTube, and that was a giant move for me to do, because I don't like being in the limelight. I don't like my voice. I don't like the way you read isn't how everyone reads, and you know, you only it's general, so it's not specific. Like I've done one-on-one readings with people for many years, and I've been, you know, I've been learning tarot my whole life. My mother is a tarot reader, and it's always been around me. It's something I connect with easily, and to go and put it online is a huge, you know, really put yourself out there on a world stage. So it was very scary, and I did come up with excuses like, oh, it's too hard to create a YouTube channel, how do you upload, how am I going to do it, I don't have a camera, all this sort of stuff. And then it wasn't until I saw someone who said, you just remember how, you know, Steve Jobs started off in his garage with a basic, really old computer doing code, and now look at Apple. Like, look how far, like how big it is now. And you start off with whatever you have. I think it was also, was it Corp's husband? He started off, he had an old, like, really cheap microphone and like maybe a laptop or something really cheap, and he had no job. He was living in a big share house. Like, he started off like at the bottom, as we all do. And maybe you are going to start off at the bottom. Maybe you don't know how you're going to make this, and I didn't. I'm still using an iPhone on a really old broken stand. This is a broken stand that it's sitting on, which is actually this here, and I need to get a better one. But I don't make a lot of money, guys. I don't make money from this. I do this because I love this. This is what I've always, you know, I love it. I don't do it for money. Even when I read for people in real life one-on-one, I've never charged anyone. This is not something I gatekeep. This is not something I charge for. This should be something that is, you know, given to many, because everyone needs, you know, guidance in their life one way or another, whether it's a therapist or a doctor or, you know, a mentor or a teacher or spiritual readings. You know, that's the way I view it. So there's something you're holding off subconsciously. You're afraid to move forward, and that fear is only because you're thinking of all the, like, your mental space would be like, what if it goes wrong, what if it fails, what if, you're thinking of all the negativity. And that's why the 10 of swords, so your swords are your mental space, it's your thoughts and all of your, you know, your brain and your overactive thinking. And that's why you're stalling, that's why you're sitting in this, like, this, you know, this loop area, this place where it's like, I can't move forward, I'm scared, what if this goes wrong. You're wallowing in all the endless negative possibilities, and it's not healthy. It really is not healthy. You're just coming with excuses and just stalling instead of moving forward. Now, what you are aware of, what you do see, what you are seeing, what you are, you know, aware of, what is right in front of you. So you have the 7 of swords, the 4 of swords, and the 2 of wands. I'm pretty sure that's wands, yes. 2 of wands. So 7 of swords is a lot of swords, guys. You're really in your brain. So this is about uncertainty. You feel like you might be moving too quickly, and there's illusion. So you might actually be lying to yourself. You're very much aware you are lying to yourself. You're stalling yourself. You're too scared. You're allowing your fear of stopping you from moving forward into what you love to do, like what you've always wanted to do. Now that you actually have this ability to go and do it, you're actually scared. You're really scared shitless, guys. I'm not lying. You are scared. This is also could be strategic. Because you do have a map here, so you had a way that you wanted it to happen. You had a way that you probably planned, sort of like a chessboard, and something's happened and it's not going as planned. It's happening too quickly. You might feel things are going way too fast, because the Knight of Swords is the fastest. It's the fastest knight out of them all. They move rapidly. This is why sometimes these ones are specifically called like being single-minded and daring, because they jump forward without thinking of the consequences. Whereas I can see with you are overthinking the consequences to the point of stalling and fear. You're building fear up in your mind, and it's affecting your ability to trust your intuition. So this is trusting your intuition. This is something like, because feminine energy is a natural flow. It's like an all-knowing. It's a much more slower, so this might be a bit too masculine for you, where it's too fast, too direct, and you go, whoa, 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 slow down, what am I agreeing to? It's sort of like when someone says you got to just say yes or no, here's the question, and you're like, oh, but I need the context, and like, you don't get that. You need to just say yes or no. You could also be like, this is a card about having to meditate, having to recenter yourself. It is also about like self-love, recovery, having to sleep on it. I feel like you want more time, guys. This is about having more time, having to slow down, having to meditate. But with the Two of Wands, this is a card about choices, moving forward, setting your goals, and it is about taking action. You have to make a choice. You can't escape it. You have to say yes or no. It's sort of one of those. But also, pole number 1, this is actually their card to choose from. So you might have something there. I'm not too sure. I can't even recall. When I do a reading in our channel, I don't remember it entirely. It takes me a lot to like remember what happened during a reading. But yeah, you need to make plans, and this is about goal setting for the future. So when you're thinking of the future, like, what is it you want to do? What is it you want to be? And to be that, you have to go forward. You need to go and do it. And this is something that's got a huge amount of potential. Like, you will, like, it's like, this reminds me of the Magician card. You bring about this. So if this is something that you want, only you can do it. Only you can, talk yourself into it. Only you can take those actions. No one else can hold your hand and do it for you. And that is, I think that for you, that's the scary part. You've probably never done anything by yourself before, regardless if this is a job or traveling somewhere. This might be something really scary to you. Like, you've never traveled anywhere in your life, and now you have to travel and you have no clue what you're doing. You feel very naive, I've got a feeling. For others of you, this could be you have gone through something medical, and this could be a healing card, recovery, as is the Star. The Star is about recovery. It could be that the recovery took a bit longer, and this is why subconsciously you're not feeling ready. In yourself that your body isn't fully healed. But I also feel like you're also very passionate for the future that you want. Like, you're already thinking of jobs you want and things you want to do, and you're going to need finances, and you're also going to need to take some action to do that. So you might need to start like a new job, for example. That's scary. It does not matter how old you are, how experienced you are, how much life you've experienced, how much good things or bad things you've experienced. No matter what, everyone has a fear, especially if it's something you've never done before in your life. The first tattoo, you're going to get anxious and afeared. If standing up and talking in front of people for the first time, that's stage fright. That's natural. That is a fear. To do something you've never done before will always come with doubt, fear, second guessing yourself. Not knowing how to do something makes you feel unprepared, not ready. There is so much, but until you do it, just the best thing, I feel like for you guys, because you are really up in your head about all of this, really up in your head, the best thing to think of is that so time isn't linear, so it doesn't run in a line per se. So let's say you're here, and your future self is here. And here's an obstacle, and you were terrified. There's no way to get around it. It's either yes or no, and if you say no, you have to go to a different line, and this person in the future this other future you, is not who you want to be. That's not what you had in mind. So to get to this future you have to go through that obstacle. Now, the way I think of it is that, see, future you've already done it. There is an existence of you where you have already done it, succeeded, and passed it. And you're going to look back and go, oh, wow, that was easy. I didn't think it would go like that. Or, oh, well, it's all over and done with. Well, I was stressing over nothing. Like, why did I worry so much? Like, I overthought it. I put too much pressure on my own mind, and I doubted my capabilities, whereas, you know, I'm actually really good. And sometimes, like, if this is something you've been creating, let's say you're an artist and you think you're terrible, and then you share your work online, and then someone's like, oh my god, and you get all of these comments saying how amazing that is, and oh my god, are you you know, can I commission you, or where can I buy this? And you're like, oh wow, like, I didn't realize it was that good. Sometimes you need an outside perspective to show you, like, yeah, you are magic, you are amazing, you're so talented, guys, but your mind holds you back. And this is probably, I feel for a few of you, this is not your fault. You might have had people in your life who have conditioned you or spoken constantly in a negative way for you, that like, you're not good enough, or oh, no one's gonna like that. And it's like many years, especially if you grew up with parents who were like that, or guardians who were like that, or you've just never ever received praise or been told you're good at something. That probably has always made you think that you're not good at anything. But if you have people who always put you down and say how bad you are at something, you're naturally going to start thinking that you are bad at everything, or you can't do anything right, especially if there's people who are not good to you in your life. And sadly, there's a lot of people like that in the world. If you're good at something, a person who isn't good at it will say that you're terrible at it just because they can't do it. And they will whittle you down your confidence, your capability, your self-belief in your own abilities. Now, for you guys, if that's indeed the case, I would suggest having positive mantras, daily mantras that you can read to yourself. I got one that was really cheap, of like, I don't know, like, you know, Temu, Etsy, whatever, and it's like a flip one. It's got the date on it, and they make them per year, and it's got a beautiful outside design, and you flip it over for every day that you're on. It has a gorgeous mantra about like, I am capable, and stuff like that, like all these beautiful things, like, you know, take action now, you know, your future self will thank you, like all these beautiful little simple mantras to help your mindset and to help get you courage, confidence, and the ability to see that you are capable, that you have things that you know, that other people have never thought of. You have an ability to do these things, and as you go through, it changes your mindset and it helps you to have more confidence in yourself. I found that really helped, because I would have not started this if it wasn't for that. So I feel like poll number 3, you've got something, and I feel like this, you know, jumping into it, it's sort of like you weren't expecting for things to move this quickly. You thought you had more time than you actually do. You want more time, but unfortunately, I've got a feeling like you're being told, we need an answer now. You need to make the decision now. It's either yes or no. And I feel like with you guys, what's going to help you make that decision is looking at the future you want and seeing what is, you know, where you're going to go if you say yes compared to where you're going to go if you say no. And I feel like if you do pass this up, you're going to kick yourself many years in the future about, like, you know, about this. But yeah, you're very, very capable, my beautiful poll number 3s. So this is the reading I have for you. Like, share, comment, let me know if this resonates and how it pertains to you, because like, pretty much when I do readings, I have to mention if it's, you know, a job, if it's, you know, moving, if it's travel, if it's, you know, a creative endeavor. Like, there's so many different ways that this could relate to your life. So if you want to let me know, it does also help me understand how I would read these cards in that scenario. But yes, let me know. I'm leaving you with lots of love, light, and positive vibes, and I'm going to see you all in the next one. Bye now.